Okay, I'm getting rid of this phone soon, so I wanted to just do some last little videos, and I thought I would start doing a series on some of my favorite things over the month because I spend so much time in bed that I get to test out a whole bunch of stuff, so maybe I can help you all with deciding what to watch on Netflix or what book is an absolute must or what apps actually save time and really help out. I'm focusing on a snoring little pug just because, I mean, who does not love snoring cute pugs? This is Glynda the Good pug, and she is definitely one of my favorite things. I have Ehlers-Danlos, so I dislocate by pointing at things, and she works as many things as a incredible mental health creature, court jester. She's hilarious, snuggler, and she also really works for a place to put my arms so that I don't hurt my shoulders. So she's kind of my constant little companion. Now over here, Kirk. This is my baby. This is my very sweet little wolf, and he is one of my absolute favorite creatures in the world, mostly because I don't think anything has ever loved me as much as this lovely wolf does. He is not as easy for me as Glenda the Good Pug, and I didn't name him Kirk. I was just really excited that his name was, Star Trekky. But his favorite experience is if I pass out. I also have POTS, which means that my heart rate can go from 40 to the 200s with little warning. And we learned the hard way that he has decided that he was going to be a service and a helper dog with absolutely no training. So when I pass out, his favorite thing to do is to lay across my chest. Found that out the hard way. I fell down and passed out for a few seconds. And when I woke up, there was a 95-pound, yes, he is 95 pounds. By the way, if you ever get a rescue animal and they tell you 50 to 60 pounds absolute maximum, that seems to be code for you need to buy a bigger car and a house with an acre on it. He told us he would not be bigger than 65 and 95 pounds, which I found out when he laid across my chest, and I couldn't stop laughing. I could not ask for help because it was just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous, but he is the sweetest, most loving creature ever. All right, so you understand I spend a lot of my life in bed. I'm also a parent, so if you've listened to the podcast, you've definitely heard me talk about my wonderful teenagers, and I'm always trying to figure out ways to spend time with them, even if I can't, take them places, go out. Again, Ehlers-Danlos, so I dislocate really easily. You just saw Sweet Wolf, whose favorite experience is if I'm walking towards the door to leave. He likes to run around my legs, and he will often dislocate my kneecaps that way, and that means I have to stay home and stay with him. He's really got this down to a science. It's a lot funnier than it sounds. I promise. It just is life here. So I can't usually take my kids out the way I would like to. I can't even hang out in the living room a lot of the times to even watch a family movie night. So I'm just always kind of trying to find ways to be really close to them. So I'm not just kind of like the woman in the attic who has no interaction with anyone. All right, so I read The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, and if you've heard me talk about books before, I am a bookworm. Every surface in my house has plants or books. It's just how this place goes. And I could not stop talking about the Night Circus for years, and I loved it. There were a few things that bugged me, but it was overall one of the most amazing books I've ever read. And she just came out with The Starless Sea. I read it in one sitting, which broke my heart because I wanted so much more. Not that it didn't end beautifully, it did. It is just one of the most exquisite books I've ever read. Well, some of you know that my youngest is very interested in psychology and wants to really look into becoming a therapist, and is also very fascinated with virtual reality and gaming. And this book actually brings all of that together. So I thought there was just no better way but to enforce going back to reading to my youngest, who is in junior high and is now forced to curl up next to me and listen to a chapter a night. And I will tell you that getting an agreement was difficult. So I just pulled parental privilege of this is what's happening. And There was a lot of grumping, but there was a curl up, and I read the first chapter, to which I got a huge amount of blowback for not reading another chapter, and now it's absolutely fine. So, you really absolutely have to love a book that begins with a pirate in the basement. There's no way not to love this. I can't recommend this book enough. I did end up buying it. I don't usually buy books, and I certainly don't usually buy books new. I am on a budget. So I actually had gotten this out from the library, and that's kind of how I decide if I'm buying a new book now, is I get it from the library, and if I cannot live without it, I will purchase it. So this is the only one I've done this with in like the last 3 months. So yeah, this is an absolute must. Any age group, I really feel like if you're over like 8 years old, probably there's some more adult themes. There's some really scary moments. So like if you're going to read it to your kids, maybe do like a peruse first. I'm not the best parent for what's appropriate for age groups. I tend to let my kids watch and read most things. So if you're not super lenient, maybe just give this a quick peruse first before you read it. But this was absolutely my favorite book this last month that I've read. I'm sorry for the snoring, or you're welcome for the snoring. Entirely your choice on whether that's a problem for you or not. So that is my favorite absolute thing for books this month. All right, and I'm just going to go and give you a cute picture of Sleeping Wolf while I discuss the rest of it because I don't have visuals for it. I'll try to find some graphics to throw up just to make this more interesting of a video. All right, my favorite app this month was Fabulous. I know it's a weird name for an app, but it is a habit builder app that I didn't find saccharine. I found the interface beautiful and easy, and it really helps you get your foot up on the ladder. So it's a way just to build a habit. And I find it really helpful for chronic illness because I can easily get to a morning where I've dislocated everything. I'm like, I can't even get out of bed. It's just not going to happen. And if I just kind of have my formula for what I do in the morning, I can go, you know what, maybe I won't do the whole day, but I can at least brush my teeth. And then once I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, okay, well, maybe things are shifting back into place. Maybe I can try the next thing on my list. And I can go through as far as I can, and then I stop. But it does help me get on the ladder. It does help build habits, which I can get out of when I'm in bed rest mode for a long period of time. I can start to get out of some very important habits. So Fabulous is my recommendation for that. As far as movies and TV shows, all right, so I watched Sabrina. I love Sabrina. I have huge issues with Sabrina. Please don't get me wrong. I did enjoy season 3. I would really like them to have more diverse decision makers when it comes to that show. I found it really insulting, to be honest. And if you have viewpoints on this, please go ahead and comment below. I am a total geek for a good TV show, especially fantasy, but I'm not going to give any spoilers here. If you know me and my absolutely foaming at the mouth ways on feminist issues, you probably, if you've seen it, know what upset me. Go ahead and comment below. I would love a dialogue on this. My other favorite thing ever is The Magicians. Hands down, I've rewatched the show a billion times. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm head over heels for it. And I can't wait to watch season 5. I was just waiting for the rest of my family to catch up so that we could all watch it together. And for my biggest heartbreak ever, not ever, but whatevs. So Doctor Who was off air now. They didn't even make a big deal about it. I would have rewatched the whole thing, but Amazon Prime just yanked it because it's going over to HBO's new streaming service. And instead of I would even subscribe to HBO so I could just watch all of Doctor Who. It's my go-to when I am feeling horrible and I just need to watch something without thinking about it. The Durrells of Corfu was another favorite. We just finished that up, and my husband and my new favorite thing to watch at night when we can't deal with the news, because he has given me boy, she's loud. He has given me a 9 p.m. cutoff on the news. That is for my own mental health. He's not a controlling person, I promise, but I am unbearable after watching the news. So we are watching the Great British Bake Off, all of them. And aside from needing icing at 10 p.m., it is a really fantastic way to go to sleep. I think that's about it, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this new way of doing things every month. And put down in the comments, what did you watch this month that you loved? I always love a new book recommendation. I do not tend to read self-help books. If you have ones that you love, go ahead and put them in the comments. I am much more of a fantasy and YA fantasy because I'm in my 40s, so I should be reading YA, which I love. I'm addicted to it now. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great week. I have to go because I have an interview right now with Kimberly, the occupational therapist, and we're going to be talking about how to feed yourself when you have chronic illness and disability. So stay tuned for that. Take a look. I have a video that's coming out later this week that will be just showing you how I do things on my own little suburban homestead of less than 6,000 square feet and how I set up my kitchen so that I can try to cook on some days. All right. Have a great week, everyone. Be kind, be gentle, and you know the rest. Take care.